Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Why We Travel podcast. This time, and the first time, we want to talk about Peru. Specifically, we want to talk about the capital of Peru. We want to talk about Lima. So therefore, I have Alexander La Cerna Barreto with me. He is in Peru right now, and he has a vast experience with the city and can tell us a little bit more about what to do in Peru, what to experience, and so on. So hi, Alexander, how are you today?
Good. Thank you. Good morning. How are you doing? Thank you
I'm
for
very
it.
well. Alexander, to start with, give me a bit of what's your connection with Peru?
Well, I was born in Peru, North Coast, and I was living by the ocean my whole life. I was part of the Navy in Peru. I feel like I kind of developed a little bit of love, a lot of love for the country. And then I started guiding a few passengers in my city as I could speak some English. Then I decided to be a tour guide. So that's why I was guiding people along Peru for 10 years. Then I decided to settle down in Lima and make walking tours here. So I feel like my job nowadays is being an ambassador of my country, in my country, try to show the country when the people arrive. Because Lima is the first city that people arrive in. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. Excellent. So yeah, absolutely perfect person to talk a little bit more about Lima. I personally have been to Peru. I have been to Lima. I like the city a lot. And actually I did a walking tour in Lima as well. It's a few years ago. It's 3-4 years ago. But I definitely want to go back. So Alexander, tell us why should someone go to Lima?
Oh, well, you know what? I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I feel that Lima is the only city in Peru where you can actually feel the culture of the country. And by that, I mean, in Peru, we have 33 million people, and 11 by 2022 are supposed to be in Lima, 11 million people. And I guess there is so many people in this big city. Many people say, for example, oh, I don't want to go to Lima because it's such a big city. But when I ask them why you come to Peru, they say, oh, I want to see the Peruvian culture. And sometimes we go to Cusco. I don't know if it happens to you, but you can see the people on the main square, dressing like colorful and stuff like that. And it's very nice, but they are also looking for tourists. While in Lima, people are doing their own lives, and whatever they do, I feel like they are just trying to follow everyday life. And if you want to learn about our culture, then that's like very, very perfect place to do that, because it has a little bit of everything. Due to the migration, many people came to Lima. We have 11 million people, from which 75% is not from Lima, it's immigrants. So here you have food from different parts of the country, music from different parts of the country, people who speak different languages, the different parts of the country. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship, like you have Mira, Barranco, which are like very modern and beautiful districts, but then you go travel, but you will see huge contrast from one city to another. And I didn't like the Lima city at the beginning, as I always hear people saying, oh, Lima is good. But then I saw the other parts and I'm like, man, like this city is actually, it's beautiful. And many tourists tell me that lately too, like you can get to see the ocean. It's the only city in South America, it's the only capital in South America that has. So it's nice. You can do surfing, you can do snowboarding, you can see nice buildings, lots of museums, a lot of things to do. Food, it's just crazy. The gastronomic boom that we have nowadays, it's just incredible. So I feel like it's a city where you can do some stuff and people will be very surprised to see.
Okay, no, that already answered to a certain degree. My next question is like, what's the atmosphere and the vibe in the city? But going over that, so it's like, what should people go and see in Lima? What are the main attractions to look at?
Yesterday in the afternoon, uh, as I have an Instagram page, I wanted to kind of go around the city and take pictures and show to the people the city in pictures. But I wanted to kind of like see the highlights. So yesterday, coincidentally, I was checking it out. I have seen that there are different parts. For example, nobody knows or not many people know that here in Lima we have a canyon where inside the canyon, no, sorry, it's a canyon with a tunnel, and inside the tunnel you have a waterfall called Autisha. It's just crazy, and it's very close. It's like 2.5 hours away from here, even closer than Caracas. 3 hours away, we have one of the peaks of the mountains called Rajunta, and many Peruvians are going there. Well, people from Lima go there on the weekends. It's a full day tour, and you're practically just in Lima and you're taking pictures on the top of the mountains. It's snow, it's white on the top, completely. You know, people are not expected to see that in Lima. The main square of Lima, of course, we talked about monuments. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. The President Palace is considered one of the most beautiful palaces that we have in South America. The Lima Cathedral. When I do the walking tours in Lima downtown, I always take people to San Francisco Church, which has catacombs below the church. You walk around the catacombs and there are hundreds, thousands of bones. So many of the travelers I took there, they say it's spooky. And that's how they describe the tunnels. Very interesting. If anybody comes to Lima, you have to try a good ceviche and a good pisco sour. That's like two things. It's like dancing. You need to dance with somebody. You need to have a ceviche and a pisco sour, no matter what. I know some good spots for that as well. Nightlife is good. Also in Lima, we have one of the oldest and most important archaeological sites, like Pachacamac, for example. Not many people know about Pachacamac. Pretty much everybody is referring to Machu Picchu, which is obviously one of the 7 world wonders. But imagine that in the colonial times, when the Spanish arrived here, everybody went to Pachacamac to get the gold, to pay Pizarro, you know? So that's one of the main reasons they kind of discovered Lima on the way and make it the city. So Pachacamac is very, very important. It was there before the Incas, and the Incas noticed it was important, so they decided to build some Inca temples there too. Barranco, considered the top 30 coolest districts in the world. It's very beautiful too. Callao, in Callao you also have these islands called Palomino, where people go and swim with sea lions, see the Humboldt dolphins, penguins, sorry. You can do some surfing. A lot of people lately is coming to Lima to do paragliding, take cooking lessons. Of course, if we're talking about the gastronomy, we're focused on this. Food tours are very nice. Yeah. Huacapugiana is also very nice. In the nightlife, or before you start the nightlife, the magic circuit of water. It's a good show to go with couples, with kids, with friends sometimes. Enjoy. It's nice, but they have kind of like a water fountain, and they project a movie that goes through the water, you know? So the water is a screen, let's say. That's quite interesting. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, you made me want to go back because a couple of things that you mentioned I have seen. So I have been to Barranco. which we only found out after a few days. And I must say it's a really nice district there. Barranco was very nice.
Yeah,
I
right.
think you have this very nice seafront promenade right at the cliffs where you can walk for ages and look at the ocean. So that's also very nice. And maybe you need to explain to the people, because food obviously is, Lima is known as one of the top food capitals worldwide. I mean, some of the best restaurants in the world are in Lima. Maybe just explain in some short words, what is ceviche and what can people expect there? And obviously, what is pisco sour? They need to explain that as well. Not everyone will know that.
Yeah. Well, like I said at the very beginning, I was born in front of the ocean. So I guess that's what I tell to people all the time. I take people who come to Peru, I take them on street food tours. And one of the main dishes they try is ceviche for 12 soles. When in Barranco, my first, it's 45 soles. People surprised about the price. But man, ceviche, first of all, ceviche is one of my favorite dishes. Second, I used to eat fish 6 times a week when I was a kid, and chicken or meat once a week, or, or meat. But ceviche was always in my and basically, of whoever is watching this, it has to be fresh fish. No, but here in Peru, we close the local restaurants at 4 or 5 p.m. If you go to a restaurant where they prepare after 5 p.m., don't bother. It's not a Peruvian restaurant, you know? So fresh fish, salt, lime, chili, lettuce, dried, dehydrated fried corn, sweet potato, salt. It's just mix of different flavors in your mouth. To give you an idea, we pork. Let me show you. I have one. We both pork. Yes, guys, you might be laughing
Sport,
if I
yeah.
show this, but this is important for ceviche. You get some fish, you get a piece of fish, corn, sweet potato, but the juice is also coming in here. So one bite, you have all the flavors in your mouth. That's ceviche. It's having like a lot of different flavors in your mouth, tasting them, feeling them. You have to have some chili on it because chili gives this special mix of flavors too, and it has to be fresh. Some people ask me, "Oh, but Alex, you know what? Like this is a raw fish. I don't know if it's good or not." No worries. The salt, the lemon, the chili, so much acid, it's gonna cook the fish meat, and it's just tasty. It's just crazy how many people don't know about it, and the ones who know about it are just crazy about it. I met many people who told me they didn't like fish or they didn't like ceviche, and I said, look, we just give it a try, like once, like that's it. If you don't like it, that's okay, but let me take you to a place. And they're like, no, but I have this friend who took me. I'm like, look, for me, it's important. I will take you not to the most expensive restaurants. I'm not gonna take you there. I'm gonna take you to the good one, which is very different, you know. And for pisco sours also, I didn't used to like alcohol in general, although I was a tour guide and I was trying with a lot of people. I was always trying to keep sober. But, you know, being in the Navy, guiding in the vineyards, in Ica, learning about the history of piscos kind of like give you this pride of, you know, producing the pisco. The pisco is the process of the grape juice that is in fermentation process. So the grape juice is already in fermentation process, it's already turning into wine, but they cut the fermentation process to go on to the distillation process to do the pisco. 42% of alcohol is pisco. That with lemon juice, sugar syrup, egg white. On the shake with the rocks. It's always on the shake, never on the blender. That's what I learned. And that's Pisco. That's Pisco sour. That, by the way, used to be whiskey sour. You know, it's a guy who came from the States and changed the recipe, changed the whiskey for Pisco. So it wasn't invented by a Peruvian, you know, but we love it. And in the end, if you have a Pisco sour, you will see that they put some bitters on top. Apparently, this is to avoid the egg smell. So yeah, it's egg white. Good.
Okay.
Basic,
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah, I had a few of them, and I must say I like them a lot. And also, as I said, that the street food in Lima was really, really good. I'm a big fan of street food. Now, when it comes to the perfect time to travel to Lima, I know the climate is very mild there. What's your recommendation? When should someone come to Lima? Is there any particular times where you should not go to Lima because of the weather?
No. In general, no. You know, this is the coldest. This is right now. It's the coldest season in Peru, in the coast side, and this is 11. That's the coldest, guys. Whoever is watching this video, 11 is the coldest. Yeah. This October, it's gonna get up to probably 17. December, January, February, it goes up to 27, 30. So anytime is perfect to come to Lima. Yeah, it's on the coldest time, like right now, just put on the jacket. That's all you need. Nothing
And
else.
it almost never rains in Lima. That's the other point.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost never. So you have the city ready all the time. The perfect time to be here, was making the other day kind of like an organization. I feel like it's 3 days. 3 days to be fair with the city, to say I get to see the city. 1 day to see Lima downtown, the old downtown, a little bit of Chinatown, street food, the monuments, the catacombs, to see probably Larco Museum, to see the magic circle of water. Another day to explore, and I would like anybody to take this tip. It's very important. Explore Miraflores in daytime, hit Barranco, kind of like in afternoon, nighttime. Barranco is very beautiful. It has very nice views. But the nightlife in Barranco, not the nightlife, let's say the night atmosphere in Barranco is much incredible. That's what we're doing, a walking tour like by night in Barranco, you know, because it's the Bohemian district, the artist district of Lima and of Peru, actually. And it's very nice to see, very, very nice to see. And another day, I don't know, to see museums, to go surfing, to do paragliding, to see Callao Monumental. Callao is also another region inside Lima that is pretty much the port. And it has also good food, good history, some things to see, like swimming with the sea lions. So yeah, 3 days, I guess, like full days, right? 3 full days. 2 nights, yeah. Some people came to Lima for a couple of days and they have been telling me that they wish they stay longer. So unless you can do, for example, when you arrive in the country, 1 or 2 days, and then people start traveling around the country and they finish in Lima as well. So the rest days, right? Like 2 or 3 days, 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we spent a week in Lima and then we moved on. But I think it was just not enough. I loved the people there, were very friendly people. The food was amazingly good. And I mean, also it's a huge city. I mean, 11 million people. It's a massive city. I remember driving to the airport took quite some time to get out there.
What do you mean?
But yeah, we're just not that close to the city. I think you need to get through the whole city to get to the airport. But what was great. Where can our listeners and viewers find out more about you?
Oh, if anybody wants to ask me, like, or come and contact us, we do walking tours in Lima, downtown. A little project that I started last year and I was very scared, to be honest. but the name of the project is Lima Experience. We try to create an experience for the people. So if anybody would like to join us, guys, you're more than welcome. What we do is that in the mornings, we take people to the local markets and we show people local markets doing the street food tours where you can try ceviche as well. Ceviche, papa rellena, I don't know, mazamorra, chicha morada, maca, lucuma juice, and we buy lots of fruits and we go to a park to eat the fruits and we play like exotic fruits that you might have never tried before in your life. And we play some chicha music, which is kind of like a very popular local music that not many people know about. So I was thinking that we have to show the local culture to people while they eat. So that's why it's called a street food experience. That's what we do in the mornings. Introduce the local side of Lima to travelers. In the afternoons, we take a walking tour in city center of Lima. We take the catacombs, and obviously we finish having in a bar where Pisco sour was invented. So my idea is that people always try to get the city. And in the nights, like I said earlier, we do walking tour in Barranco by night. It's not about going to every single club and getting drunk. It's mostly like getting to know the people, just the night atmosphere. And yeah, have one or two drinks and that's it. Yeah. So
Okay,
Lima
cool.
Experience, you guys can there.
Okay, we'll put a link in the show notes that people can find you directly there and then contact you if they're in Lima or plan to go to Lima. Alex, thanks so much. I think that was a good overview of Lima, what the city has to offer and what people should experience there. And as I said, if somebody wants to reach out to you, they can find this through the links in the show notes. Thanks so much for your time and hopefully see you at some point in Lima.
Let me know if you ever come in. It's a pleasure. Thank you for making this podcast about the city. I feel like Lima is worth it, guys. Give it a try. It's a very nice city to visit. Thank you so
I
much.
agree. Bye-bye.